Hi, babies, and everybody who's not a baby. Welcome to my channel. Again, I'm Janet, if you haven't been here before, and I'm with Unique Raw Foods. We're here today with food. You can see it was cloudy yesterday, so I didn't bake this for you. In Mexico, it was the first cloudy day in probably months and a few drops of rain. So I put this off to today. Do you want to see the sun outside before we go? Um, I want to thank you and anybody who comes later, of course, because I've hit 1,000 viewers on my channel, which means that I might be able to get paid, be able to be monetized for all this beautiful, fun work that I've been doing. So here's a beautiful sunny day in Mexico for you. It's beautiful, huh? It really is. It really is. It's dry. I mean, you could see my wrinkles, like, and plus I've lost weight. So as I was talking to you in my last video, um, about my healing. So with that, I've been able to lose excess weight, which is a good thing. And thusly, it leaves extra skin. Also, while we're here, could you please give this a like if any of this information has helped you in any way, has been informative, perhaps helped motivate you, has helped provide sources for true information so you don't have to spend so much time and the amount of information that's been in our computers for so many years. That's been one of my goals here, is to be able to cut through to what's the right information that you can take on your path and not have to spend your life in Google and build your life. Okay, so today I'm making a chili. It's an authentic chili to me. I grew up with my mother making chili. We weren't, we, we're not Mexican descent, and wherever else chili originates from. I made this chili because I like to make these, find the least amount of processing for the foods in terms of cooking to make them tasty, give them life, but have something familiar if you want to um, have chili, have something that resembles the cooked food that you're used to like. I always found the cooked chili heavy. I still ate it, but my favorite part of having chili was the toppings. I'd put mound lettuce, we'd mound tomatoes, onions, put sour cream on in that time. Because I felt like the chili, which was most of the time made with meat, was just heavy with the meat and the heavier vegetables in there, the heavier sauce, the thickness of the sauce. And I thought about it a bit, and I said, "Well, it's called chili. Wouldn't it have more chilies in it?" Here in Mexico, chilies they're stocked in the store by the crateful. Um, so this is not necessarily a spicy chili like you're eating a hot sauce out of a bottle. Of course, if you want to, in my recipe, I only have the jalapeno and a homemade uh, chili powder. So let's see. Thank you for being here. Let's see what we. Do you like that? Um, so here, let's get you going. This I've made is a homemade chili powder. So it's not a powder, obviously. I made it in the blender with various ingredients, including dried chilies. Um, but this recipe I can't give you today because I don't really have it. I have to relook it up, and that would be a whole other video. So I have a chili powder which I think is really the essence of what makes chili chili. And then the base is going to be thinner so that we wind up with something that is more in this texture. You could see this has been in the refrigerator, but when it's thinned out, you could see this could be used as a dip, but this is going to be incorporated. It smells mostly like cumin and it smells like chili. And it's going to be incorporated into, I'm going to grate some zucchini with the fine mandolin. I put it in a bowl and we'll put this over to make the chili. I'm avoiding the whole thing of trying to fill a chili with like carrots and mounds of onions and things like that. And this one is based on mainly tomato, nice fresh bell pepper. And then if you want to go for it, there's jalapeno, or you could get a serrano, which is skinnier, longer. Add whatever that you want. And then the other important base of this is, before I show you the soaked, you could buy, you go to the store and you see these in some sections. These are dried chilies. Um, Let me get the other ones. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Um, so you go to here in Mexico, um, by the crateful. So these are guajillo. It starts with a G in English. So these are the dried chilies. And what I've done, let's take you here, is you could pull this part off on the top. Well, it's either easy or it's hard, or use a knife. So take off this part on the top or rip it open. Of course, there's seeds, see? Take out the seeds. And then I've soaked these. These have been soaking for a while. They don't take that long to soak. So if you only have a half an hour, you remember half an hour, it actually is okay, especially if you have a powerful blender. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 8. But to make um, a considerable size quantity, you might want to just really go in for like double that amount, plus the blender, to fill the blender up. So the dried chili, that's to me is what is going to it's made of chili, and what to me tastes like what everybody could spend like a lot of time filling up a big pot and cooking and cooking and cooking. I find that this gives this really nice flavor. It's satisfying with the vegetables. I mean, if you want to use grated carrot in here. So let's go with this so that I will put it in the blender to make some more. Like I was going to just make the vegetables, but let's go. Let's see what we can do here. Um, and of course, if you want to show up, so in goes with, we're going to put not all the water. These here I have, these are chipotles you've heard of perhaps. They look a little bit worse for the weather, but as far as I know, chipotles can get dried and also smoked. and that can be sold other ways as too, perhaps in like a sauce. These I haven't soaked in that bowl, so I'm putting some in dry, just a little bit. They have a very smoky, distinct flavor, chipotle. I mean, there's a restaurant called Chipotle, and it would stand out because the chipotle has a very distinct flavor to it. These ones I actually got at the equivalent of Walmart here. It's surprising. The other peppers are very common. I put in a little bit of celery. You probably want this chopped. You want it chopped? You want it chopped? You could be kind to your blender by cutting things small. Just give it a little bit of a chop. What else should we go for here? We're going for some tomato. I have the Roma tomatoes. That's what they have in Mexico. Roma tomatoes. Store, Roma tomatoes, Roma tomatoes. One store has been getting little cherry tomatoes. I like the cherry tomatoes because they're often a little bit sweeter. And also, I like the idea they might be growing on the tree, the plant, and needing less and thriving and needing less fertilizers or anything that any non-organic or conventional growing methods might use. So if the food takes less time to come to ripening, then it's less time exposed to any non-organic treatments that might be used at that particular farm, because everything definitely is not organic here. Do you want me to give you? I think when people show up, I could tell you more and more about what truly organic is and what happens in organics a little bit. It's really good for you to know, especially if you don't want to wash your fruit and vegetables. So if you're not washing your fruit and vegetables because you think they're organic, I'll advise you right now to. I keep fixing my hair. I do. I advise you to wash your fruit and vegetables. So I'm putting in. I have some cilantro. Uh, this we are putting into it the stems of. So that's maybe a quarter cup. You could get a little bit heavier with it. I will start with that for now to keep the color. Okay. Uh, we have some dried thyme, which is tomillo in Espanol. A good pinch. Thyme really seems to add a great flavor. You could use some fresh. Is this better? You could use some fresh oregano a little bit. That often shows up in fresh oregano shows up in Mexican cuisine. They have one here called Mexican oregano, and it's very thick leaf. And I don't think it's. Not going to use it. Then we're going to use. You can soak your raisins. I have some raisins that should be rinsed. Thank you for your patience with this video. I really wanted to get this out to you while I had the ingredients ready. I have about a quarter cup of raisins I'm putting in there. A little bit more. Those ideally would be soaked. I'm trying to catch the sun here. So you got some good raisins. I've written down in the description box where you could check out at the Medical Medium website. He starts to discuss the healing benefits of grapes. And he'll mention raisins. He has a lot of recipes there with raisins in it. And the key thing that he mentioned was that They are more nutritious than goji berries. Goji berries had their time in the light, but it seems that those raisins, good old-fashioned raisins, are much more healing than what we might know. They're not going to rot your teeth out. Having raisins in your food, especially combined like this with living foods that have hydration to them and everything. Garlic clove. Um, that one you might want to just gauge how you want garlic. I know that in the blender, sometimes the garlic can get very strong. Garlic has a personality to it that if you treat it hard, it can get stronger, and then if you treat it softer, it will be less strong. I don't know if you've ever noticed that before. If you, but of course, if you're very sensitive to it, either leave it out, or you could roast or lightly steam the garlic. That'll subdue its effect. So we'll start with one garlic. You could, after the sauce is made, also chop up garlic and put it in chopped in the bowl. You know what I mean? What's its sauce to put the chopped garlic in? That could be nice for part of your chili. I'm going to take a little bit of these spring onion greens and put it in there. And let's get in part of the key ingredient, which is red pepper. Don't use green pepper. If you only have orange or yellow pepper, use that. This thing with, you see this beautiful color on the chili? That comes from the guajillos. They have such a rich orange color. Uh, you like turmeric, you know how turmeric will get stain you? Well, this is very similar. It has this very deep orange red richness to it. So that in itself has a lot of health benefits. I think it's appealing to the eye. It has a beautiful, rich, deep flavor to it. Here I have half of a red pepper that's going in. A little bit more cilantro came. I'm going to put a small bit of the cebolla. Cebolla is the onion. Cebolla verde, I think they call them. Just a little bit. You know what we need is a lime. I would say the equivalent of half of a lime juice. Again, if you haven't been here before, I slice the lime on a diagonal all the way around, and then I simply squeeze it like it's four different wedges. I find it squeezes much easier than trying to squeeze a whole half of a lime or a lemon, especially a lemon. This works well with because sometimes they have such thick skins. So penetrate the skin more, and it's easier to get the juice out. So that's about half of that juice. You see when it gets squeezed? There's four of those like that. Do you like that? Can you comment below if you find any of these techniques helpful for you, or if you have a good chili recipe, or if you find that um, if you find your chilies, if you agree with me, like about how chili could be so heavy and how to lighten up. If you enjoy the flavor but not the spice, that's why I like the flavor and the sauce of it, but not like the heavy spice. Which, of course, okay, I have a cumin, ground cumin. This one I go a little I feel like part of the key part of a chili is tasty the cumin, some pepper, some flavor, and, of course, the texture, tomato, but the flavor is kind of, I would say smoky almost. Oh, that reminds me. One other thing, which I know many people like, would be alright, so I put in that paprika, about more than a teaspoon, that's for sure, but not quite a tablespoon, and then the homemade chili powder, and I start light with this as well. This has much more spice in it. Um, I dried my own I can't tell you about it right now. It'll take too long. There's many, many components in this, and part of it is spice. So I put a little bit in now and then mix some in afterwards. Now, one other thing that you might want to put in if you have it, I have just a small bit and I'm not going to add it today. Maple syrup could go in here. That's a nice addition to it. Um, it's controversial for vegans, but honey really is a vegan product in the world of the bigger world of the universe. So you could also it's very nice to use some raw honey in it for that sweetness. If you don't use raisins, you could use pitted dates, preferably soaked so it'll get incorporated. And I have jalapeno here. I'm going to put a sliver of it. Again, just like garlic, I find that any peppers that go in, this one, it was not all red. Any peppers that go in, I find and get more intense going through the blending process. So I start with very small amount. Okay, babies, can you hold on while I go and blend this? I'm back. You ready? Okay, so let's just, if you're really going to make this, remember we soaked the guajilos, the dried chilies. I didn't use any of that water. None of the water went in except for what was on it when I took it out of my hands. So I'm pouring that away. You might want to remember to, when you get the dried chilies, to rinse them and then soak them. So here we go. Do you see? It looks like chili. It looks like chili already. The cats are meowing. They think it's for them. I have to. There you are. It looks like chili, and it is chili. Um, if I put my finger in. Okay, from the recipe we just had, I would add a little bit more raisins, a little bit more sweetness, and I'm going to add some more of the chili powder. That's going to add a little bit more spice, and I'm going to add a little bit more of the cumin. So maybe about another teaspoon goes into there. And of course, that'll get mixed in. Good work. Okay, I want to be able to give you some good attention right now and show you what then. Could I eat it like that? I don't know. Let's get a spoon. So, if you want to just, if this, no, I'm not going to suggest that. I was going to say if you just wanted to eat this like this, I wouldn't say that this is a complete chili. This to me now could be kept as you can see how it is. It really good with cucumbers dipped in it, thinly sliced radishes. Um, I have here as part of what I'm going to use is a frozen and thawed cauliflower. I'll show you in a minute. You could use that for dipping in here. The cucumber would be really good, especially if you also have a cashew cream dipping sauce and you're on not on a or next to a guacamole. It's good. It's really good. I could eat this like this, especially with some cucumber. Make sure you soak your raisins a little bit. That'll help. Okay, let me quickly put this together for you. I wanted to clear off this cutting board a little bit. Yee. So, okay, what do we have? We have the leftover ingredients. Okay, it's your chili. I don't chop up the red peppers. The red peppers I use for mostly everything else. It would be nice for dipping in that chile. I myself am going to add another clove of garlic. I have a lovely calabaza, which is a zucchini here. I have some beautiful giant radishes. We have the cilantro, um, quite a large spring onion. And you could also, what's nice, I have these tops of celery. Some finely chopped celery would also be nice in with the raw vegetables. So, do you get what's happening? What's happening is that now we've made the chili sauce in the blender. So, that's a living food, which, if you prefer it warm, certainly you put it into either the dehydrator for a while, even if it goes in dehydrator for 140 degrees, 160 degrees for a short while, it'll quickly warm it up for you without having to use a stove. Remember to always take off your outside layer of onion, peeling it, one of its little layers, if they're not organic, especially. Otherwise, if you'd like it warm, it can go on a bain-marie, which is putting the bowl over some hot water, or put it on very, very low heat on your stove and just stir it around for 1 minute or 2 minutes, literally, and it'll warm it up. You might want to add a tiny bit of water. I'm talking about the chili sauce, of course. If you're wanting to warm this up, just enough to be not cold. So now the ingredients. Thank you for showing up. And please, if you're finding this enjoyable, just please put a little like thumb. Give me a nice thumb there, please. Now we're putting into the bowl what makes the body of the chili. This could go on as simple as something like cucumber noodles. I was going to call them their other name, kudos. Some people call a cucumber noodle a kudo. I don't have the spiralizer, but I'm making the toppings for the chili. Put a little extra garlic. Oh, I didn't show you. The other ingredient is a jicama. I don't regularly eat the jicamas. I'm not a big root vegetable eater. I know this sounds strange. I prefer to juice them. But this tienda, the people at the tienda where I shop, they like giving me free food. So I get often something free. And this last time was a jicama. So this will get peeled if you've ever seen one before. It's very important to peel them. Very important because I've read that the skin is actually toxic. Don't eat the skin of a. You can, but it might not make you feel very good, and so don't do it. We'll get this moving for you. Oh, let me talk about what I have at my website, please. I have up, babies. I have up over 50 products, natural products that sound really good to buy. Things from toilet paper, diapers, there's baby diapers, natural baby diapers, all these things that are at least some way consciously made and less damaging to the earth when it winds back up in its her soil. Um, there's shampoos that have ingredients in them that are natural and no artificial chemical fragrances. This is really important, loves, to get onto this idea. It's not a hippie idea. The fact is, it's a true idea that when you're choosing things that look fancy and are made with chemicals, you're just damaging your body. You're really damaging your body. If you have a health issue, it very well could be rooted in your choices of products that you're using. It's true. So the website has a shop, and these are going to be quality products. The shipping is handled by a professional company. I wanted to make over a year ago. Just said, why don't I put products up so people don't have to shop at Amazon or even at Walmart.com or some of these huge things where there are issues. There are issues about human rights, and you are what you invest your money in. That energy comes to you. So I put this up there, and I would like people. This is U.S. based delivery only right now, but please go there. Everything is marked down. Everything is at least 10, 15, and maybe 20% off retail price. You can do it. It works. You just go to uniquerawfoods.com, go to shop. You'll find all the recipes that I have there. My new recipe ebook. Um, free consulting is up in the services, but in the shop, then the products just show themselves. Big pictures. If you have any questions, there's a contact page. You can email me. It's very simple, and we'll get you set up with some good products. They're not all raw, no, There's things that are good for transitioning. They're low or no gluten, there'd be no gluten, gluten-free products. Zucchini's going on the mandolin. Gluten-free products. You can find them in your health food store, but I might actually have it for less money. And if you're having a problem, just email me. I know this. You can just come and say, oh, look, this is what I'd like to buy. This is what I can afford, and I can work with you. At least at this point, you could get like Prime service, Prime shopping one-on-one service that people pay a lot of money for. Like they go to Barney's and they want a private shopper for them. I can be your private shopper for now. Please come support me at uniquerawfoods.com. So simply, we know this technique, right? On the mandolin, and we have some beautiful shreds of those. I'll take you through most of the process. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you. So the cauliflower, the first time I saw it was by Chris Kendall at the Raw Advantage. And he froze the cauliflower. This is what I've done here. Let's watch the cauliflower. This is what I've done here, is frozen it, thawed it out, and I'm going to, well, for you all, I'm just going to chop a little bit. That little jicama is in the way. We're going to chop it up a little bit so you can, like, just showing you. You can have some chunks in there to chew on. And the idea is that the cauliflower gets soft. And it's sweet. The other method could be, I'm going to peel the jicama. The other method could be put in a blender, the florets, or you put it into the food processor to make it like rice, and you could put it in there like rice. Or you could also, of course, chop it with the knife, chop very fine off. So I find cauliflower a great addition if you want a thickness, that gives some. Well, besides that, the cauliflower is such great nutrition. It really is. It's almost like eating. I was going to say it's almost like eating candy. Cauliflower is like one of the candies of the vegetable world, I find. It just has such a great effect on the body. But you can put all your research aside and drop any worries about your food. Get cauliflower into you and your family. It's very versatile. On my site here, you go through, I've made a cauliflower. It's a raw cauliflower hummus. And it helps transition. You get the flavor in there. You get the nutrition. You skip the oil. And you get the goodness of these vegetables. Okay, so you see this skin, it almost peels off the jicama. And the jicama has a sweet, crispy flavor. It's like an ultimately crisp apple, but not with the same sweetness. It has a little bit more watery. It has this kind of sweet water flavor to it. It's very refreshing. There's recipes out there that cut up the jicama and put spicy powder on it, like French fries. Gotta try it. All right, so then zucchini, and then probably about half a jicama. The mandolin This could be done with a grater. I find, especially if you're just transitioning, or even after quite a while, that's making the vegetables, apples, like things like apples, cucumbers, of course, the zucchini, and what I'm doing here, carrots, if you're eating carrots. And then we're going to go for some radish. Radish is highly cleansing and detoxing food. Sorry. And yeah, one of the big benefits that I eat it for is its ability to help carry out heavy metals from the body that have been in there, have been got. The cilantro helps dislodge the heavy metals that are embedded in your body. Um, I made a smoothie from the Medical Medium Brain Saver book. It is called the Ultimate, no, Advanced, Advanced Heavy Metal Detox Smoothie. I didn't have all the exact ingredients. However, what made it one of the ingredients that made it advanced is that I'm sorry, I'm deciding if I want more radish. That added the radish greens, add a radish to the smoothie. Yes. Yes. You know what? Actually, you won't believe how good it tastes. It actually enhances it in a way that even the regular heavy metal detox smoothie, uh, it doesn't alter it. Sometimes it's hard to talk about taste and visuals and talking, isn't it? But it adds its root vegetable kind of sweetness and earthiness to the smoothie. Plus, it's going in there to help dislodge heavy metals. It's going to, these metals and the chemicals I was talking to you about, the perfumes and fragrances, those are the equivalent of the heavy metals. What about that? Those are the equivalent of the heavy metals. So if you're not actively removing them, they're not being taken out, they're staying in your body. I mean, this, you see, sunspots are just uh, a on pigmentation of the skin, and part of that is due to a virus that's in the body, which you all have, and then they consume the heavy metals, certain ones, and then the toxins from the virus that ate those heavy metals from the perfume and the fragrances and the smelly candles and chemicals in your food, then those toxins excrete from the virus after they've eaten them, and those excretions go to the surface of the skin, which kills the melatonin in the skin. So, you know, you see an old person, they have all these liver spots. They're not really just because their liver and they drank too much. That could be part of it, but it's also other toxins in our body that are being released through this viral excretion. It's not pretty. This is. So we have all of these lovely shreds of vegetables, so you can see. Again, of course, you could just put um, you could just put zucchini, or you could just put um, what was I going to say? Cucumber. Let's finish up here. I will put some on. I'm going to do a quick showing to you. You could also, what I'm doing for showing you, I'm chopping up some, these are just button mushrooms to put in. If you like that kind of chewiness in there, I'll put a few more mushrooms, but let's put some of the chili with this tiny little spoon. I have a lot of things in here for the amount of sauce, but I really wanted to show this to you and celebrate 1,000 viewers. So We see this come together. So remember, this is only 2 tomatoes. So eating a whole bowl of the chili is essentially 2 tomatoes, half a stalk of celery, and some raisins, and a little bit of onion. That's just it's full of nutrition, but it's if you eat it in the right quantity, then you're getting the calories that you need as well. It's very nice if it's made the day ahead of time. Okay, so if maybe you use fewer vegetables than I did, but it'll also break down. And then, of course, we have cilantro that'll go on top, and then some more onions. I'm going to put more mushrooms, and I don't have a cashew cream sauce for you. No, babies, I don't. If you're eating your fat, you could put a little bit of avocado if you're dying, but I challenge you to see about enjoying your food, enjoying the beauty of it, enjoy the sweetness of it, enjoy that you made it, and see if you could get past the fats. When it's sweet enough and has enough flavor, you'll learn it. Your body will learn it. I'll just show you one more time, like my last video. Check out my last video. And my stomach used to be out to here. It just would be out to there. So now I've got enough energy to go back to the gym, and my stomach is now getting to normal, non-distended. Do you want to taste it with me? Sorry about the lighting. Cheers. Okay, sweethearts, you know what? It's all in the flavor of the chili powder, the cumin, and the fresh peppers, and the dry peppers that add all this beautiful, I guess you could call it umami. I think from these dried peppers, you're getting a lot of umami and the smoky flavor. Thank you for coming. Please write any questions down below. And if you keep an eye out, I will be doing more live videos. Yeah. Check out my website, come shop, save yourself some money. Stay beautiful, stay strong. Thank you.